Pharaoh's curse, the truth behind the tomb that shocked the world. The desert keeps its secrets well. For thousands of years, beneath the golden sands of the Valley of the Kings, a tomb slept in silence, sealed, untouched, forgotten by time, until one man refused to stop digging. In 1922, under the relentless Egyptian sun, a weary archaeologist named Howard Carter stood at the edge of defeat. His hands were blistered, his eyes heavy with years of dust and disappointment. 5 long years of searching, 5 years of hope fading grain by grain, like sand slipping through his fingers. His team was tired, his funding was nearly gone, and whispers spread that he was chasing a ghost. But Carter wasn't chasing treasure. He was chasing proof. Proof that the stories carved into the walls of ancient temples were real. Proof that Egypt's greatest secret, the lost tomb of the boy king Tutankhamun, still slept beneath the sand, waiting to be found. The scholars in Cairo laughed at him. "The valley is empty," they said. "Every tomb worth finding has already been found." But Carter couldn't let it go. Something inside him refused to stop. Maybe it was instinct, maybe it was obsession, maybe destiny. And then, one cool November morning, as the desert wind whispered through the tents, a worker's shovel struck something solid. Not sand, not rock. Something older, something deliberate. They cleared the dust away, and slowly, the outline of ancient steps appeared, descending into darkness. Carter's pulse raced. His breath trembled. He ordered his team to stop. He knew what this meant. They had found something no one alive had ever seen. When he finally knelt beside the sealed doorway, the faint scent of time and earth filled the air. He pressed his face close, lit a small candle, and through the crack, he saw it. Gold. Gold shining beneath centuries of silence. The color of gods, the color of eternity. Behind him, his patron, Lord Carnarvon, whispered, "Can you see anything?" And Carter, his voice shaking with awe, replied softly, "Yes. Wonderful things." It was the discovery of a lifetime. The world held its breath as the tomb was opened, a gateway into a forgotten world. Inside lay treasures beyond imagination, solid gold chariots, jeweled masks, sacred statues, and the untouched coffin of King Tutankhamun, the boy who ruled at 9 and died before the world even learned his name. But amid the glory, amid the shimmer of gold and sacred relics, Carter's team found something else. A warning. Faint, cracked, almost erased by time, etched into a small clay tablet near the entrance. "Death shall come on swift wings to those who disturb the sleep of the Pharaoh." The men laughed when they read it. "Superstition," they said. "Ancient poetry, but the desert has a strange sense of humor." A few months later, Lord Carnarvon, the man who made the discovery possible, was bitten by a mosquito on his cheek, a small wound. Nothing serious until it was. Desa. Infection spread. Fever followed. And within weeks, he was gone. At the very hour he died, the lights in Cairo flickered and went dark. Every bulb, every street lamp, for exactly 5 minutes. Coincidence, they said. But when Carnarvon's body returned to England, his dog, thousands of miles away, howled once and fell silent forever. The newspapers needed no more proof. They called it the curse of the Pharaoh. And just like that, the legend was born. The world called it a curse, but maybe it was something else. As the years passed, the tomb's silence began to echo in strange ways. Men who had stood inside that chamber, who had breathed its ancient air, began to die. Not all at once, but one by one, as if time itself was keeping score. A fever here, an accident there, a sudden illness that no doctor could explain. Within a decade, more than 20 members of the expedition had fallen, scientists, photographers, even visitors. To the world, it became a ghost story. To Egypt, it was justice. The people whispered, "The Pharaoh protects his rest," and for a moment, the old gods of Egypt seemed to stir again. But Howard Carter, the man who opened the tomb, refused to believe in curses. He stood before reporters and said, "There is no curse. It's only coincidence." He smiled when he said it, but behind that smile, his eyes told a different story. A man who had seen wonder and fear hold hands. He never stopped visiting the treasures. He would walk among them quietly, his shadow brushing against the golden mask of Tutankhamun. That mask, those still eyes, those perfect lips, it didn't look like a face of death. It looked alive, watching, waiting. Sometimes, Carter said, when he stood alone in that room, he could feel something in the air, as if the boy king still lingered. Not angry, not vengeful, just awake. In his final years, Carter grew quiet. He stopped traveling, stopped lecturing, stopped explaining what he had found. When he died, his tombstone carried no mention of his discovery. It simply read, "May your spirit live. May you spend millions of years, you who love Thebes." The same prayer carved inside Tutankhamun's own tomb? Maybe that was his way of saying sorry. It's because, in truth, the curse of the Pharaoh was never about death. It was about remembrance. For centuries, Tutankhamun had been forgotten, a name buried in dust, a story erased by time. But when his tomb was opened, his name was spoken again, his image was seen again, his story reborn. The curse had done its work, had made him immortal. Today, when people stand before his golden mask, they still whisper, some in fear, some in awe, all in silence. The eyes of the boy king still watch them, as if to say, "I was forgotten once, but never again." Maybe that's the real truth. Maybe the curse wasn't meant to punish, but to protect. To guard the memory of a child pharaoh who ruled for a moment, but was destined to live forever in legend. Because power fades, empires fall, even the gods grow quiet. But stories never die. And as long as the sands of Egypt breathe beneath the sun, and the Nile still flows past the Valley of the Kings, the name Tutankhamun will whisper through the wind, soft, eternal, never sleeping.